So Werner Heisenberg, he's the guy who gave the world the uncertainty principle, this fundamental limit on what we can ever really know for sure. But what's so fascinating is how that very principle seems to be the perfect description for his own controversial legacy, leaving us with way more questions than answers.
And this question right here, it isn't just some philosophical riddle. It's the absolute heart of Heisenberg's revolutionary idea and, as we're going to see, his entire life. The answer to this would completely rewrite our understanding of reality itself.
So in 1927, Heisenberg drops this bombshell of a principle on the world. What it says is, the more precisely you nail down a particle's position, the less you can possibly know about its momentum, and, you guessed it, vice versa. It's like this cosmic trade-off that you can never, ever escape.
And here's the kicker. The math proves something really profound. This isn't just a problem with our measuring tools or because we're not clever enough. Nope. It's a fundamental rule baked into the universe. A particle simply doesn't have a precise position and a precise momentum at the same time. It's not that we can't see it, it's that there's nothing there to see.
So that gets you thinking, right? What if this limit on what we can know applies not just to tiny little atoms, but to the very man who discovered it? I mean, we can measure his scientific achievements pretty precisely. But his moral intentions? Well, that's where the real uncertainty kicks in.
Okay, so how on earth does a 25-year-old physicist just overthrow centuries of scientific certainty? Well, it all started by learning from an absolute all-star lineup of mentors.
You see, he studied under the three biggest giants in European physics, and he basically assembled this unique intellectual toolkit. From Sommerfeld in Munich, he got this bold, can-do optimism. From Max Born and Göttingen, he mastered the incredibly complex math. And from the legend himself, Niels Bohr in Copenhagen, he got this deep, almost intuitive feel for physics. His first huge breakthrough was to just completely abandon trying to visualize the atom. Instead, he built a whole new kind of mechanics based only on things you could actually observe, like the light from spectral lines. This was a totally radical move. He was basically saying the math matters more than our neat little pictures of reality.
But you know, this new math, it did way more than just describe atoms. It kicked off a battle for the very soul of physics itself. This wasn't just some new theory. It was a completely new and honestly pretty unsettling vision of how the universe works.
And the fallout from this? Oh, it was huge. The old classical dream of a perfectly predictable clockwork universe? Well, it was over. Done. Heisenberg's principle just shattered that old worldview, and it replaced that comforting certainty with kinda scary probability.
This, of course, led to this epic showdown with none other than Albert Einstein, who just flat out refused to believe that the universe was fundamentally random. For him, our inability to predict things was just a sign of our own ignorance, not some deep feature of nature itself.
And Einstein, he summed up his whole feeling about this with that iconic line. He was absolutely convinced that there had to be a deeper, more orderly reality that we just hadn't found yet. For him, a God that gambled with the universe was just unthinkable.
All right, so as the world is plunging into war, Heisenberg's whole idea of uncertainty, it's about to jump right out of the textbook and into the terrifying reality of his own life and choices. He's about to be forced into a position of incredible moral ambiguity. So you have the Nazis rising to power, and a lot of his brilliant colleagues, Einstein included, they get out of Germany. But Heisenberg, one of the few top-tier physicists left, makes this really fateful choice. He stays, and when war breaks out, he's put in charge of Germany's nuclear fission program.
You see, for the whole German bomb project, it all came down to one critical question. How much fissile material, like uranium-235, do you actually need to create a chain reaction? The answer would decide if a bomb was even possible to build during the war.
So Heisenberg's team goes back to the German High Command and tells them the number. They'd need tons of it. An astronomical figure. An amount so huge it seemed technologically impossible to produce. And because of that, the Nazi leadership basically decided an atomic bomb wasn't a practical weapon for them.
But here's the thing. Was that number right? Because the actual amount of U-235 you need is shockingly different. It's not tons. It's not even close.
And that is the absolute core of the mystery. Was this gigantic error just incompetence, a simple mistake, or was it a deliberate act of sabotage? Did he just get the physics wrong, or did he intentionally mislead the Nazis? We just can't be certain.
And all of this moral fog, this uncertainty, it really comes to a head in one single, mysterious meeting with his old mentor, Niels Bohr. It's a meeting people are still arguing about to this day.
The meeting was a total disaster. It just shattered their friendship. But the crazy part is, there's stories about what actually happened in that room. They're completely different. What went on in there became a kind of historical black box.
I mean, look at this. The whole mystery just gets deeper. You've got three totally different stories. Heisenberg claimed he was trying to signal that German scientists were slow-walking the project, maybe even to propose a pact to stop all bomb research. But Bohr, in these letters he never even sent, remembered Heisenberg boasting that Germany could build a bomb and would win the war. And then you have secret recordings made after the war where Heisenberg sounds genuinely shocked at how little material the Allies needed, which suggests he might have just gotten the math wrong.
And this is where that parallel just becomes so clear you can't ignore it. Just like we can't simultaneously know a particle's exact position and its exact momentum, historians can't seem to definitively measure both Heisenberg's technical capability and his moral intentions. The more you try to focus on one, the fuzzier the other one gets.
Which leaves us with one last, kinda unsettling question. Heisenberg proved to us that there are absolute limits to what we can know about the physical world. But does that same principle apply to how we judge history and how we judge each other? Can we ever truly be certain about the hidden truths of the human heart?